Back Row Ministry, the world premiere, Mr. Mahdi coming back to you live and direct from the Kia Optima Studios. So it's about my second video that I've done in a while where you guys actually got to see me. I'm not shy to show my face. The enemy comes, he comes. That's just the way the game goes. But I wanted to talk about some of the stuff that's in the news. Hadn't really been speaking much regarding things that have been taking place. Not a lot has been taking place. We talked pretty much, our discussions have been up to preparation for where we are now. So, as election time brews and continues to brew, pretty much October is going to be a month where there's going to be a lot of things going on, a lot more chaos as we get closer to this election of chaos. And everything is being placed in motion to bring destruction to the election process. So as you all know, I'm not even going to fuck with that election. I'm probably vote for my local offices, whatever one, school district stuff that we got running as far as in my city. But as far as president, I'm not fucking with that shit. I'll be honest with you. To me, it's totally worthless. As we learn and we talk about and discuss, the Congress has the true power and America and the elite have the true power of the world. So once you know that and you know who the button pushers are, then wasting time voting for the face and the puppet is just worthless to me. So this is a selection. We've kind of broke down why is a selection. We pretty much predicted they would pick Kamala Harris. We don't know Kamala's end role. Now remember, something I looked up when me and my boy was talking is that the vice president can become president if the president of the United States resigns their position. So the president could get sworn in, and the next day they could say, you know what, I really don't want to do this shit, I resign. And at that point, the vice president of the United States becomes the president. So that could happen at any time. I'm just putting that out there just in case we see Joe Biden deciding he wants to step down a month into his first term and hand it over to Kamala Harris. So that's just something that we've been watching to see, but that's something that we're watching. So if that does happen, if Biden gets into office, then that's something that we're going to watch out for as a part of the script. Another part of the script is the pretty much the chaos they want to cause in this election, kind of set up this situation where you could possibly have two states in the United States. You can have a split country based upon some of the election results, and that's something else we have to think about. Excuse me. So we got the whole Breona Taylor thing. Breona Taylor has been big in the news. I'm gonna do a full Breona Taylor decode. I never did a Breona Taylor decode. I really don't get into the police shooting stories too much. I think I've done 2 decodes on the last 2 major police shootings. That one that involved George Floyd, killed on Chicago Avenue, mysteriously. And of course, we did the shooting of the gentleman in Atlanta. And it kind of died down. That story really didn't go anywhere. But George Floyd, Minnesota, had the attention of the country for a minute. But then all of a sudden, we flipped back into Breona Taylor and the South, going back to Kentucky. And Breona Taylor now has all of a sudden just taken over the mainstream. And kind of we had this female Rodney King situation where now not all the cops are going to be charged in the shooting and blah, 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 blah. Same stuff happened with Rodney King. And Rodney King was a nice staged video that they put together to elicit the response they got in LA at the time. A lot of changes took place in LA after the Rodney King incident. But Breona Taylor is the fuse, and she's the fuse that's now been lit moving into election season. And the fuse is race war. And we've been talking about the coming race war for a long period of time and the inability to stop what's going to take place, because the energy of hate is strong. The energy of hate is strong, and it's getting stronger and stronger, and it's been being fed. It's being fed. And a lot of people react to this. And then the thing that gets me with people, especially my people, is they act like this is new. They act like this is new. Police officers, when it comes to certain situations, have gotten off for decades. I mean, it's something that's not going to change. And when the whole situation began, what was the expected outcome? What was the expected outcome? We talked about black man victim turns into black man perpetrator. We talked about setting up scenarios where, of course, you know, the police officers are going to get off and get away with it just to further aggravate people of color. It's all designed, and the elite designed it this way. So the elite use everything to their disposal because they must create the energy they need. We got fear energy with the invisible coronavirus. And something I thought about today, and I went back and I thought about something Prince was talking about, that last little suspicious interview that Prince did before his so-called demise in the elevator that he let take him down. And Prince is a funny guy. I love Prince. Funny guy, but he had to pay a price. Remember now, Prince got that catalog back from Columbia at the time, Warner, I think at the time, and that shit was not free. And that was the price he had to pay. His career had to come to an end. So the music business careers come to an end all the time. So it's no mystery that these things take place. But one thing he said on that Tavis Smiley interview, you can go back and watch that on YouTube, is he talks about chemtrails. And he talked about, you know, how he would see the chemtrails in the sky when he was younger, and the planes would fly over and leave the chemtrail, and whatever chemical would kind of, you know, disseminate down, and everybody would start acting crazy. And I was like, okay, I never experienced that. But in my mind, I'm thinking about it. I've seen chemtrails plenty of time. But then I kind of thought about it deeper. What would be the best way during a period like this to get a lot of people sick? And you can utilize something like chemtrails. You could utilize something like chemtrails to get a lot of people sick. Because early on in this coronavirus environment, I was getting reports back from people who were saying that a person got sick and the next day they were dead. When the coronavirus first started, and LA was the news, my sister had just went to LA. They were just going out there for a vacation, her and her boyfriend. And I think, you know, you guys hear me talking about this on the video, and the stuff my sister went through during this coronavirus and how we had to battle the hospitals. When they first went to LA, her and her boyfriend, the minute they were there, I think about a day within, they both got sick. And they were part of that first initial group of folks that went into the hospitals and got turned away, because the doctors were telling them they couldn't do nothing for them. Remember I told you my sister has kidney issues. She can't walk around with a fever. You got to give her something for her kidney. You got to check on the kidney. They didn't do that. They just turned her away and were telling people, ain't nothing we can do for y'all. And that kind of got me thinking, were they using something like chemtrail technology early on? Were they spraying down cities? Were they placing things in the atmosphere to purposely get people sick? And, you know, in my mind, I don't put anything past the people that we're dealing with early on to create the environment, to create the landscape, put the landscape together. You know, you had the refrigerated trucks that all these bodies were supposed to be in. You had the you know, the tent cities, and Javy Center was set up, and there was a lot of undercover stuff going on. So remember, doing all this, we still had to hunt for the pedophiles, and you see that's still something they're trying their best to keep the lid on. And we had the young man now from the TV show who got caught up with the twin pedophiles, and I just want you to look at that whole thing. We've been talking about the twin flames. He gets caught with twins. He's from Chicago. I forgot where the twins were from, but I think the twins were from Minnesota. I want to say the twins from Minnesota. I got to look at the report again. But he gets caught with the twins. He's a guy from Chicago. It was just a sickening story. But this was the young man who had been on Oprah's show. Oprah had him on the show and everything, sitting in the seat, loving all up on him. And, you know, they got him now. So now the hunt is going to really, really ramp up, because who knows what information this young man's going to get to save his neck. So I think more people are going to start running for cover in this hunt for the pedophiles, because California is trying to become safe haven. And there's a bill that California just is trying to get passed to say that removing the term statutory rape for a man or people in the LGBTQ community who have sex with minors, and trying to say that if a minor is, let's say the person is 20 and the minor's 14, well, that's if the minor says that they want to have sexual intercourse with them, it should be legal. It should be all right, because they gave consent. So they're trying to really, in layman's terms, create a pedophile bill to protect pedophiles, and try to say that people as young as 14 and 13 are consenting to have sex with people 10 years their elder. This is the sickness that's going on in our society, and this is a Democratic state. It's one of these Democratic states that you all love that are trying to pass this sickening bill. And you got to watch these people. The devil comes in all forms. The devil will come as your friend. We talk about that all the time. And that's what's going on. A lot of these Democratic states trying to pass these bills, and California is one of these states that's trying to protect pedophiles right now. A lot of those pedophiles that's on the run are trying to hide out in California and try to get safe haven so they won't be prosecuted. So there's a lot of sick stuff going on, and you know, a lot of people are paying the price. New York is paying the price, because New York was the first place they hit when they broke up the pedophile rings. And a lot of that information came from R. Kelly. Go back and look at that R. Kelly interview. Everybody needs to go back and watch that interview when R. Kelly blows the roof off of the pedophile rings in New York. When he talks about the hotels, he talks about the underground tunnels. All that stuff is in R. Kelly's interview when he went on that rant. And that's why they tried to calm R down. R got fed up, and pretty much decided that everybody was going to go down with him. Remember, they brought R. Kelly to New York for a while? Why do you think they brought him to New York? So, a lot of stuff been going on under the umbrella of this coronavirus. And the coronavirus is a 56 code. Remember, coronavirus 56. And I really wasn't paying attention to that. I was saying the number 56, but I'm not listening to what I'm saying, because my date of birth is 5/6. 5/6 is my date of birth. So the coronavirus is going to be a targeted code targeting certain individuals who are coded 5/6 too. So we got to remember that the hunt is going to be on. The intensity is going to move up. Things are going to intensify. This reality is about to change again, and we have to be prepared for that. If you see the DOJ targeting certain cities, calling them anarchist cities. They're full of the anarchists. We haven't had anarchists since the early 1900s. Now we're going back to the anarchists, starting to label people. You're an anarchist. You're this. You're a terrorist. You're that. They're going to start doing that again. And, you know, you're not going to have the friends that you think you had. People are going to turn on you. The minute that you start talking truth, people are going to turn on you. You got to remember, you're deep into transformation. And we talked about that transformation state, really changing the mind state of the populace, getting them to see things the way that they want them to see it. You got people now who can't take off the mask. The mask has become a part of them. They wear the mask that grins and lies. There's no truth in the mask, but now the mask is stuck to their face. They've become a part of this thing. They can't get out. The fear is real. And the fear is not proven, but they use everything to their advantage. Every 5 and 10 minutes, a sports star is talking about, I got the coronavirus. What was I? It was another show Oh yeah, the kids from Stranger Days, the show about portals. The Portal show said they can't come to the Emmys because they got the coronavirus. It's just like, it's the thing to have. And if you ask people, well, how did you get exposed to it? They're not going to answer you. It's just the thing to have. It's just the thing to have. And some of you guys and girls have went and got the test, and none of y'all have got the coronavirus yet. Your favorite celebrities seem to get it every 5 10 minutes. Your favorite celebrities seem to get it. I seen that story in New York, and it was a funny story of the 56 teachers have contracted coronavirus. The minute I heard 56, I already knew what the game is. Contrived bullshit. So, you know, they're really baiting us into a lot of changes that you're not gonna like. The school's about to change. They're trying to force feed for the next year virtual learning, removing socialization from the society, selecting who you can hang with. They got us afraid as individuals to socialize with our own families, but we go to Walmart and the grocery store and socialize with people we don't even know. Because even if you're in the grocery store, that's still a social setting and social environment. You're still socializing in a way. You're out there shopping, but you can't go see your family because you might get the coronavirus from them. We go to work. They're telling us you got to go to work, but don't go see your family member because you don't want to give them the coronavirus. And we don't see what's going on. We just go right along with the programming. And that's why the elite control the world. Because as long as they can create programs that work and they know how to get people to accept the program, they're always going to win. We don't have enough people to come out of the matrix. And you need people who are willing to come out of the matrix. And we just don't have enough people willing to do that. Everybody loves the matrix. They love this fake reality. Even at times I like it. Oh man, the sports is back on. And I'll dive into sports just to escape what the hell is going on sometimes. But no, even in sports, you can't hide from the reality. Right now, we got Chicago being highlighted in baseball. We got LA being highlighted in baseball. Remember, I just talked about LA, one of the first major cities that was part of this coronavirus conspiracy. We talk about Chicago and the portals and a lot of stuff that they're planning on doing in Chicago. Coronavirus testing, people volunteering to test in Chicago, being some of the first people. George Floyd, the Minnesota guy being shot on Chicago Avenue. Now all of a sudden the focus is on the Bears and Trubisky. They're such a great team. Gale Sayers dies at 40 on a Wednesday. Date with 40, or a day that's 40, that has 40 gematria. Wednesday is the time of what we do Mercury on Wednesday. Wednesday is about Mercury, the planet Mercury. Mercury is 40 in gematria. Gale Sayers dies. He dies. He's number 40 for the Bears, and he dies on the date with 40 in numerology. So, you know, a sick world, man. No matter what you get involved in, the sickness is always going to be a part of it. I don't care what you feel you get involved in. You can't really dodge the sickness. It's always going to be around, but how you navigate through it is always the test. And as individuals, we have to stay vigilant. We have to keep our eyes open. We got to really work on keeping our spirits clean. It's easy for your spirit to get tarnished inside of this foolishness. So you really have to work on keeping your spirits clean. But as far as the Breona Taylor stuff, man, don't go out there acting a fool, and tell your family members, just turn off the idiot box, because it's designed to feed you the energy of hate. That's what it's all about, to get you to go out there and react. To get you to go out there and react in a negative way. And they'll be marching this weekend and all this other stuff, and we'll be right back to where we started before. And that does not spark any form of real change. The real change is, well, why don't we go down there and apply, get a whole bunch of brothers and start applying for these police departments so we can change it from the inside out. Nobody's going to do that. That's not going to take place. So, You know, a lot of stuff going on in the world right now. We'll keep ourselves abreast. You know, we broke down and decoded a lot of stuff for the past couple of months. The Ruth Bader Ginsburg thing, oh my goodness. Ruth Bader Ginsburg dies one day before LeBron James's basketball game. Ruth Bader Ginsburg dies at 87. James, as in King James, is 87. It was just funny. And then Sunday, if you paid attention to the football games, number 87 scored a touchdown in her honor. And Ruth Bader Ginsburg will represent Ishtar Semiramis. She's Ishtar Semiramis. That was her representation. So she opens up the can of worms as far as them now talking about getting another Supreme Court justice in, which is not going to happen until after the Democrats get in office. But that will be Trump's pick. So if you're outgoing president, you got to make a pick. So that's going to be his pick as far as Supreme Court justice. So crazy stuff, but no, just keep yourself as grounded as you can. That's all you can in these type of environments. Stay grounded, stay positive, and keep your family safe. And as we move forth into 2021, you know, it's really that period. 2022, we probably get a break, but we got to get through 2021. Remember now, we're coming to the time of the vaccine. And for all these folks that think the Democrats is on your side, let me remind you again, for those that have been watching my videos for a while, we talked about that federal mandated vaccination deal. It's an African-American woman who's a Democrat that proposed that bill in the House. And if you think when Biden get in office that bill ain't gonna pass, you're a damn fool. Because the people of the Matrix is gonna make it pass. The people of the Matrix is gonna feel that, yes, everybody does need all these vaccines. Yes, because, yes, we don't want to get sick again because we want to go to the movies and to out to dinner and to the plays. So everybody does need a vaccine. And from that point on, any vaccine they create, you're going to have to take to live in America, to leave America, to travel throughout the states. Freedom is over. It's about control. At the end of the day, it's all about control. It's all about tagging people. It's all about being able to keep up with people. It's all about being able to control people. That's what it's all about at the end of the day. So we're headed into spiritual warfare. We're going into physical warfare. We head towards world wars and things like this and race wars. But, you know, it's just the way of the world sometimes. It's the way that the cycle of the world has to work. If you make it through this cycle, you're okay. But you got to keep yourself grounded. That's the whole thing. And don't get caught up in the hype. Whatever you do, don't get caught up in the hype. That's why we decode. Get your gematria calculator. You see something, just start punching it in. You know the numbers. You know our common numbers we look for, the 41s, the 11s, the 22s, the 21s. Just look for the common numbers, the 17s, the 44s. 56 right now is the big number. Coronavirus is 56. Just look for the common numbers, the common themes. The 42s, 35 is a big number now. Just look for those things and you'll be all right. Mr. Mahdi, be safe, protect your families, stay sane.